Hello board gamers! I'm going to give my top 5 list of best deck building games that you can play solo. But first I want to show a few of out of the list. I would say these are the honorable mentions I want to show first. So first of all, Rome, Fate of an Empire. This is solo only game where you build your own Rome Empire and your deck. It kind of uses the same style of gameplay as Mage Knight, but it also includes some building and other stuff. And it's actually a VHS tape box, really small. I don't believe it's available in retail. I haven't seen it anywhere, but you can order it online from I think it was from Kickstarter Game Found. I can't remember which one was it. But this is an excellent small game, and it actually is quite big game when you lay it on the table and play. So definitely a nice one. And then we have another honorable mention, G.I. Joe deck building game. It's pure deck building game. You are building your deck, you are sending your units out to do missions and stuff. This company also has done Transformers deck building game, and I believe it was My Little Pony and Power Rangers or something like that. But I have only played this one, and what I heard online, this is the best out of all of those. Of course, if you like Transformers like me, I'm a huge Transformers fan, that might be also worth to check it out. And I might someday buy the Transformers deck building game. But yeah, this is also a really nice. Little minor thing was the card quality issues. They feel like really cheap cards. But if you sleeve them, that's okay. But the game itself, it's pretty nice. It has an Avrake rulebook, but gameplay is nice. And then final one, Kingdom Legacy Feudal Kingdom. This is strange one. It's cheap, it's only like 10 euros, but you cannot replay it. It's once playthrough kind of campaign style game, and you are building your deck and you are also building your own empire and making decisions. It's quite unique in that way. You are actually using stickers that will mark something on the card, so you cannot reset and replay it. And it uses really unique mechanic. You can have a card where there's a forest, and if you decide to cut down the trees to get some wood, you actually turn the card other way, and now it's not longer a forest. It's like plains. And you can later on build something on there, and again you are turned the card around, and you are kind of building your own empire in that way. Really interesting game, really nice. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely worth to check it out if you like solo only deck building games. This is solo only. And then let's move on to the actual top 5 list. And number 5 I have Undaunted. It's a World War II deck building war game, and the solo mode is made by David Turchi, who is really great at doing the solo stuff. And you also need the reinforcement expansion to be able to play this solo. The Normandy and North Africa box are only for a multiplayer game, but if you buy the reinforcement, you can use both of the base box for a solo only play. And this is really nice. There are a lot of different scenarios in these boxes. The reinforcement package adds more. The gameplay is solid, it's nice, it's fun. There is a lot of strategic aspect on the game. And one thing they did really well is that the reinforcement solo mode has actually a different flowchart cards for each scenario. So the automa is actually playing differently in each of the scenarios, which is really nice. And you can of course play as an allies or as a axis or whatever you want. So you can play both sides, and you will double the amount of content you can replay as an other faction. So it's really great, and it's also not that expensive. Of course, the reinforcement package is like something like I believe 50 euros, but the Normandy is actually only 30 euros, so it's pretty cheap also. And number 4, we have another David Turczi's solo mode. Of course, Nigel Buckle and David Turczi also made Voidfall, which is an amazing game, but this was before that. And this is purely a deck building game. You choose your own empire, and you try to score as much victory points as you can. And at the moment there are 3 different packages: the Legends, the Classics, and the newest one, the Horizons. And you can buy any of these and combine all of them, and they all can be played as just this box. You don't need to buy everything. They are not kind of like expansions, they are standalone games. And the meat of this game for me is that there is a tons of civilizations. Each box has 8, and the Horizon one has like, I can't remember, was it 13 or something like that? So if you buy all of these, you have like 30 different civilizations, and they all play differently. They have different cards. They have unique stuff you can do with them, and you can actually play against any of them as an automa, and they have their own flowcharts and cards and stuff. So it's really amazing. I haven't bought the Horizon, I have the Classic and Legends. There are some balance issues with the automa, but I believe the Horizons fixed at least some of those, so I can't comment on that. But these games are amazing, and these are only like 35 euros, and you get a lot of gameplay out of one box. So they are really amazing in that way. So let's move on to the top 3. And some might say, hey, wait a second, this is not a deck building game. Well, it is and it is not. Of course, this is also like Euro game where you do worker placement and stuff like that, but you are actually also building your deck in Dune Imperium, and it has a nice automa mode, so it's a really solid game. And as a game, it's I would say even higher on my list than as a deck building game. It has the deck building element, but it also has other elements like the worker placement stuff. But yeah, if you are not familiar with Dune Imperium, it's definitely worth to check it out. It's one of the best board games ever made, in my opinion. It's really amazing, and the amount of gameplay you get out of this box is really amazing. There are a lot of different leaders you can play, a lot of different cards you will see in each playthrough. You can easily play it 10 to 15 times, and you still haven't seen all of the cards in action. So you can replay this over and over again. It's really amazing game. I highly recommend to get this one. It's not pure deck building game, but it is something that has a lot of deck building elements. And number 2, this could be the same argument as Dune Imperium. It's Mage Knight. Well, Mage Knight is a lot more than just deck building game. It of course has the adventure things, combat, role-playing elements, but deep in the core it's still a deck building game. You start with the standard cards and you are building your deck constantly through the playthrough. So it is a deck building game, and I would say if we ignore the deck building thing, the Mage Knight is the best game on this list, but it's not purely only, like you would say, if you say deck building game, Mage Knight is not the first one that comes to people's mind. So that's why I put it on second place, but it is amazing game. It's a true classic. It's a super solid game still after all these years, and it's getting a new expansion this year. I will definitely buy that once it is released. And it's just a huge box with full of content, amazing replay value, amazing gameplay. You can play this game basically endlessly. There is so much stuff to do, random map, random events and stuff, random unique cards and stuff like that. And the combinations you have in this game, the scenario variety and stuff, it's out of the roof. It's amazing box of content. Of course, quite pricey. It's over 100 euros, but it is totally worth it. So you might ask, well, what is the number one game then? Well, to me, this is really easy. It's Aeon's End. Because if we talk about purely about deck building games, well, Aeon's End is a deck building game as deck building game it can be, in my opinion. Now, this is the latest expansion. This can't be played alone. You need to have some base box, but you can buy any of the core boxes. There are many of those, I believe at least 4 or 5, maybe even more. There is War Eternal, the original Aeon's End, New Wave or Horizon, whatever the name was, the third one, etc. There are many of different core boxes you can buy, and you can combine all of the Aeon's End stuff together. But this is just an expansion. I just picked this box from the storage because it was the first one I found. But Aeon's End is a game where you choose a mage you want to play, and you build a deck to defeat these huge boss monsters you have in this game. And it is an amazing deck building game, and it has been going on for many years now. There are many different expansions and boxes you can buy, and it's still going on. The newest one is hitting retail sometime this year, and it is still being produced, and it is truly a masterpiece of deck building games. Of course, this is a solo list, and some might say that Dominion is the true king of the deck building games. Yeah, that might be right, but it's not soloable. So that's why stuff like Aeon's End is on the list, because this is a solo deck building list. And if you are somebody who's looking for a deck building game and enjoy those types of game, definitely check out Aeon's End. It is amazing game. Like is every game on this list, but definitely if we are talking about deck building games specifically, Aeon's End is the one I would pick, the first one. So yeah, that's my top 5. If you have other opinion, please leave a comment. I want to know what games you like to play as a deck building solo experience. So definitely leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and see you in next video. Bye.